All right, sir, if I can't get you on camera, you're not here.
I'm doing so right now. I am exempt from these rules and regulations. I motion and move this court to dismiss this case. I am sui juris in proper persona and propria persona.
And Mr. Dubois, Anthony Edward Dubus, Jared Regier, State. Is Mr. Dubus present? Anthony Dubus?
I am Anthony Edward Dubus. Dubus is, and I am appearing specially in propria persona, not pro se, as sui juris.
Okay, first of all, I can't see you, so you're not here.
Parents satisfied?
Thank you, sir. Now,
absolutely.
As far as I need to go, well, we need you back here in person.
Okay, well, it's propria persona, not in person. I'm not the legal entity that you're claiming me to be.
All right, sir, if I can't get you on camera, you're not here.
I'm doing so right now. I'm just removing it as it's taped. It takes a while.
Now, the second order of business, let's get your name straight. I know a family with the same exact...
All right, guys, buckle up. Today we're diving into one of the wildest court moments you'll see. A man walks into Judge Vonda B's courtroom ready to challenge the entire justice system, declaring himself a sovereign citizen. From the jump, you can feel the tension. He's not just there to contest child support. He's ready to rewrite the rules. Judge Vonda, calm but no nonsense, listens as he rejects her authority. This isn't your typical legal dispute. It's the opening to a clash of law versus conspiracy-fueled beliefs. Stay locked in. This is just the beginning.
Spelling in American, they do pronounce it Dubus, but you said you pronounce it
Dubus, as the original Dubus, as the original French. Yep.
Very well, Dubus.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Mr. Dubus appears in person and pro se.
Correction, propria persona.
Well, in this court, it's in person. And
correction, in all courts, it may be either pro se, either appear in person, or propria persona.
Well, in my years of law school and nearly 40 years of practice, both as an attorney and a judge, it's been in person, and that's what I'm going with, sir. I believe that is just fine. So in any event, we will proceed with your charges. In count one, sir, you're charged with operating a motor vehicle on a highway of this state without having a valid driver's license, pursuant to KSA 8-235A. In count two, it is alleged that on or about the 17th.
Things escalate fast as the man keeps insisting that he's not subject to U.S. jurisdiction. Judge Vonda tries to reason with him, but he's not backing down. All right, guys, this part is where ideology hits the wall of reality. He quotes obscure laws and calls himself a free man. But the courtroom isn't buying it. What's crazy is how confidently he speaks, like he truly believes the judge has no power over him. It's a mix of frustration and fascination, because how far is he willing to go with this act?
Day of August 2023 in Butler County, Kansas. You did then and there unlawfully operate or attempt to operate a motor vehicle, to wit, a 2003 Honda Accord, upon a highway of the state, to wit, 1700 block of East Foxdale Street, Andover, Butler County, Kansas, while the vehicle was not registered in violation of KSA 8-142. In count three, it is alleged that on or about the 17th day of August, 2023, in Butler County, Kansas, Anthony Edward Dubus,
Thank you, Mara.
Unlawfully and intentionally drive a motor vehicle upon a public highway or property open to use by the public and failed to provide proof of insurance upon demand by a law enforcement officer. Now, sir, if you had insurance when you were stopped but just didn't have it with you or couldn't find it quickly, just provide proof to the county attorney and they'll most likely dismiss that charge. But if you really didn't have insurance, You're looking at a Class B non-person misdemeanor.
Okay, now this is where it really starts to feel like a chess match. Judge Vonda tries to pull him back to the matter of child support, but he dodges every question like it's a trap. He's throwing around terms like natural law and private citizen, but none of it changes the fact that there's a child who needs support. This is the moment where you realize he's not here to settle the issue. He's here to make a statement. And Judge Vonda? She's running out of patience. Fast.
You can hire any attorney of your choice, but if you cannot afford an attorney, you can apply and see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney. You don't have to have an attorney, though. You can waive your right to an attorney and represent yourself. So that's an order of business we need to take care of today, is whether you want an attorney or not. And then another is to make sure that you understand what the charges are and the possible penalties. Do you have any questions for me about that?
Yeah, I don't understand the nature and cause of the charges. I have not had my accuser face me to bring the charges against me, as is a violation of due process. And I want to correct, for the record of the court, the named defendant is different than the named person, being myself. Hold on, let me make sure I get that in view of the camera. The named person here is different than the one named in the charges and the counts, being a difference of representation of who exactly it is.
Now watch closely, because this part shows Judge Vonda flipping the energy. She stops entertaining the man's jargon and hits back with the law. No more playing nice. All right, guys, this is where the courtroom shifts. She tells him plainly, his beliefs don't exempt him from responsibility. And that smirk on his face? It's starting to fade. You can almost see the moment it hits him. She's not bluffing. The drama isn't in the yelling. It's in how calmly she shuts him down.
The charges are against, and it is to my belief and knowledge that per KAR 8243 subsection A, exemption from the motor carrier safety regulations, A, the occasional transportation of personal property by private motor carriers that is not for compensation and is not in the furtherance of a commercial enterprise. I am exempt from these rules and regulations, and if I need to get a USDOT number to show that I was not operating a commercial motor vehicle or as a common carrier for business or for profit or in the furtherance of a commercial enterprise, I will be more than happy to produce that USDOT number to show that I am in fact a private motor carrier, not operating in commerce, not driving, as I'm merely transporting and traveling.
Mr. Dubois, you are not charged under the Uniform Commercial Carriers Code as adopted by the state of Kansas.
All right, guys, things take a sharp turn here. The man tries to submit common law paperwork, as if it overrides court orders. But Judge Vonda isn't amused. This isn't YouTube or a Facebook group. It's a real court, and she makes that crystal clear. What's striking here is how she keeps her cool while dismantling every point he tries to make. It's like watching someone try to argue with gravity. No matter how loud he gets, the law stays grounded. The reality check is setting in.
You are charged just as a motorist operating a motor vehicle. Again, not a commercial vehicle. These are not laws that are subject to the commercial code or to the administrative regulation that you referred.
Although you mentioned the word operating. Operating is a term used for the furtherance of a commercial enterprise, or driving, operating, the physical use or furtherance of for-profit business or for compensation.
It may under the commercial code, but not under the code otherwise.
It is under Kansas, correct?
It is not under Chapter 8 of the Kansas statutes or Chapter 40, which are filed under. But we can address that at a later date at a trial or a motions hearing if necessary. But I do not see the statutory language that you're addressing being applicable to these statutes, at least preliminarily at this hearing.
It is within, sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's my ruling there. And then on the name issue, I am not trying.
This is the point where the man starts losing control of the room. His tone shifts from confident to defensive. Judge Vonda calmly lays out his financial obligations and points out that he's dodged them. All right, y'all, this part is pure accountability. He's trying to spin circles with big words, but she's done playing. Her voice is steady, but her message is loud. Pay your child support or face the consequences. And suddenly, all that sovereign talk doesn't sound so powerful anymore.
Filed, and for the brief in support of motion to dismiss for lack of jurisdiction.
Sir, I do not have any such motion or brief in support. Mr. Regier, have you received any such documents?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor, and so I fail to see, at least at this juncture, how such a motion is properly brought before the court, unless the court is aware of something that I am not aware of.
Well, that's what I'm trying to decide, if it's properly before the court. Mr. Dubois, who did you file the motion and brief with?
Well, seeing as your guys' e-file is down for what is it? It's called a ransom malware or something. I cannot e-file.
Right,
so
but you can mail it, or you can walk it into the clerk of the court. Have you done that?
Yes, I've mailed it by email, which a court.
I'm sorry, but I
could.
Okay, go ahead, please. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, you're fine.
All right, guys, we're getting to the climax here. Judge Vonda delivers her ruling with absolute authority. She's heard enough. The man tries one last time to argue jurisdiction, but it's too late. Her decision is firm, and the gavel is about to fall. It's the moment where belief collides with reality. No more debate, no more detours, just facts, law, and consequences. And you can see it in his eyes. He didn't expect to lose, but the court isn't a place for fantasy. It's a cold, clear wake-up call.
It was by email, which the court clerk said I could, considering the e-file was down. And I can't really go 20-something miles to do that, considering my personal property was stolen.
When did you email it, sir? When did you email it?
A while ago.
Judge.
Yeah.
Yes.
We do not accept emailed filings, only faxed or by mail or person.
Okay,
Oh,
I was told that they do not have fax, so I could not do that. So email would be okay.
He may have called the wrong courthouse then.
They spent 10 minutes finding my case because your guys' system was down. So I'm fairly certain it was the correct one.
Okay. Do you recall which you filed or which court you called?
Let me go to my sent. T. Stafford at bucokansas.com.
I think that might be at the county courthouse, not the district courthouse.
And here we are, the final moment. Judge Vonda shuts it all down with one simple truth. Your beliefs don't change your legal responsibilities. All right, guys, this ending seals the deal. The man leaves the courtroom still clinging to his theories, but the decision has been made. Justice was served, calmly, confidently, and without flinching. Judge Vonda reminded us all that facts matter, and the law doesn't bend to delusion. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the...
Our fax number is 316-321-9486.
Okay, and my honor, I have one last question. For the nature and cause of these charges, is it a criminal or is it a civil matter.
This is a criminal matter.
Okay. As is a criminal matter, there are two jurisdictions which I may be tried. One is the common law, and the other is a military tribunal. Which of those two do you intend to try me in?
I intend to try you in this one, sir.
Which is this one? Please elaborate.
Criminal, the criminal one.
Well, criminal has two jurisdictions. It is either the common law or it is the military tribunal.
Well, sir, we're not going to go into that at this point.
Are you refusing to acknowledge to me and tell me the nature and cause of the charges?
I have told you the nature and the cause of the charges.
You are not elaborating.
I think the remaining issue, sir, is whether you're going to hire an attorney, apply for court appointed, or represent yourself.
My Honor, I need to know whether or not this is going to be in the common law or a military tribunal.
Well, I am going to ask you one more time. Are you going to hire an attorney, apply for court appointed, or represent yourself, sir?
Again, I'm not representing myself. I am sui juris in proper persona and propria persona.
So you're not going to have an attorney, or are you?
No, I'm not going to be presented or represented by any British agent, registrant, or anybody else to be a ward of the state. I'm standing on my rights, and I do not abrogate them. And if you're going to continue to move this court without any sort of evidence, well, I guess I'll have to file that, but
We're going to set your hearing. How do you want to plead to the charges first? Then, if you don't want to have an attorney, how do you want to plead to no valid driver's license?
My Honor, are you attempting to administer the trust without permission and consent?
I'm asking you for your response. I'm giving you the chance to respond. Do you want to plead to this charge or not?
My Honor, I don't make any pleas, as I am appearing in propria persona, and any plea would submit jurisdiction to the court. I am here challenging jurisdiction under the common law, as I am owed the law of peace. And if you are attempting to administer the trust without consent of myself, the living man, the grantor, in common law, which is above Admiralty Maritime Law, then you will be in violation of Article 3, Section 2, the trial of all crimes, except in case of impeachment, shall be jury, and such trial shall be held in a state where said crime shall have been committed, but when they are not committed with any state, the trial shall be at such place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. And as there is a difference between the Republic State Kansas before the state of Kansas was brought into the Federation of the Union of States. And you will also be in violation of I'm getting it real quick. 18 U.S. Code Sections 2381, treason. Whoever owing allegiance to the United States, the corporation, not United States of America or for America, levies war against them or adheres to the enemies, giving them aid and comfort within the United States or elsewhere, is guilty of treason and shall suffer death or shall be imprisoned not less than 5 years and fined under this title, but not less than $10,000, and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. Now, I, Anthony Edward Dubus, the proper case trade name, not the all caps legal entity of which you're attempting to administer the trust of, am an American state national, a Kansas state national per 8 USC 1101, subsection 21, and is recognized by the Kansas Human Rights Commission as I have dealings with them going over my nationality in regards to a corporation in which I have a complaint filed against, has already been refused mediation by the company and is being investigated by Barbara Carper, the special investigator of Kansas Human Rights Commission, over my case specifically. And if you're attempting to move this case against myself, you are in violation of executing law rather than just judging on it. Which, if I need to pull up that statute
Sir,
or case as well.
Sir, do you still have the same phone number you had posted on your bond that you have with AAA Butler County Bail Bonds? Is that still your current phone number?
My Honor, Mrs.
316-252?
My Honor, Webster, it is, you may call me either Anthony Dubus or Anthony Edward Dubus. I do not accept the term sir.
Very
Although,
well.
yes, my phone number is still the same at 316-252-9724.
All right. And is your address, okay. Mrs. iPhone needs to be locked. And Mr. Dubois, is your address still homeless, or do you have something more specific at this time?
Within Wichita, Kansas, rural free delivery, within the 4-corner rule 67202, aka the brackets around 67202. And they refused to put down my rural free delivery address and put me as homeless instead because they could not accept it. They refused. Also, Deputy Khalid Barakay, when I was taken to Butler County Detention Center, refused that there were any magistrates at all within any of the courts, which per due process of common law, I was to be taken before a magistrate or a tribunal, both judicial, either Article 3 or 4, in front of a magistrate judge to be decided whether or not I was even within the jurisdiction to be tried for these charges or commercial crimes.
Your next court date will be 2 weeks from Monday. What do you have, Ashley? 2 weeks from this past Monday. What is it?
I believe that is going to be Monday, the 18th.
All right. Mr. Dubois, your next court date is December 18th at 8 a.m. by Zoom. You can always appear in the courthouse personally if you like. I am appointing Attorney Darren Patterson. Now, if you don't want to use him.
I do not accept any appointment of any attorney.
But I show that you don't have a specific residence. Do you have a job?